Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
Last night, the top of the lineup was one of the main reasons the Tigers won their 7th consecutive game. Kinsler, Hunter, and Cabrera combined to go 9 for 14 last night with 5 RBIs and 5 runs scored. They hope to keep going again here tonight as we welcome you to Comerica Park. Game 3 in this 4-game series featuring the Houston Astros and your Detroit Tigers. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, Ron Allen. We are glad to have you with us here for Game 3 in this series. And really, the Tigers are on a roll right now, Rod. Yes, they are pitching well. Yes, they're playing pretty good defense. But the top of that lineup last night was awfully lethal.
You know, it seems like every game, Ian Kinsler's turning in at least 2 knocks per contest. Torrey Hunter, since he was inserted into that number 2 slot a couple of years ago, no one's been better. And, of course, Miggy last night, well, he was just Miggy.
He was indeed. You know, Rick Porcello has been, well, just Rick Porcello since, July of last year. There aren't too many that are pitching better baseball than Rick Porcello.
Absolutely love Rick Porcello's skill set. First of all, he fills up that strike zone with a lot of quality strikes. That 2-seamer since he's come to the big leagues. 2 ground balls for every fly ball. He's also working in that really good curveball, that changeup, mixing him up. That's why he's keeping hitters off balance. The next step for Rick Porcello would be for him to neutralize the left-handers, and he's come up with a new pitch. Rick is now throwing a cut fastball, which cuts inside on the right-handed batters and also the left-handed batters. So Rick Porcello, since July 4th of last year, 13 wins, which is tied with a few guys for second in baseball.
All right, how about the big guy in the middle of the lineup, though? Miguel Cabrera, a bit of a slow start this year, but 4 more hits last night, 4 more RBIs last night. Big guy now starting to get it going.
Awfully special. Miguel, at the beginning of the season, opposing pitchers really weren't giving him a whole lot to hit, simply pitching around him. But as everyone else has started to hit, that forces them into pitching to Miggy, especially when there's traffic on the base paths. And Miggy got off last night. It started very early. Changeup in the very first inning, played long ball into the bullpen of the Houston Astros. Then he beat the shift a couple of times with a couple of lousy singles. And then Josh Fields was throwing about 95 miles an hour. Miguel Cabrera went shopping in the gap to left center field, drove in a couple more runs, 4 RBIs. Miguel Cabrera, awfully special. Best right-handed hitter in the game, and now it looks like he's finally comfortable again, finally getting good pitches to hit, and when he does that, he does major damage.
He does look awfully good. The Tigers and Astros tonight coming up just minutes away, and after a short break, we'll send you back to the Coliseum Studios, check in with Trevor Thompson. Coming up this evening, all 9 starters had at least 1 hit last night. We're hoping the rain goes away. Tigers-Astros coming up next.
we want to emphasize, and it seems to be working, so we're not going to stop doing that. We do have to be somewhat sensitive to a lot of games being played and get some of these guys off their feet and off their legs. Brad's going to help with that, obviously, but we'll maintain a nice work ethic, and according to who it is and how much they're playing, we'll adjust to that.
Hitting's contagious. I mean, the guys are buying into what Wally wants them to do, and we're stay through the middle based offense and adjust off of that. I think that the guys are really doing a great job of setting each other up, where you got guys that are moving.
Tonight, a little bit of a delay to this one. We're just minutes away from starting this contest. The Tigers, of course, have won the first 2 games in this series, and well, they won 7 straight, and a good portion of the credit goes to the offense. The Tigers have been swinging the bats. They certainly did again last night. And what makes this offense so good? Well, hitting coach Wally Joyner and assistant hitting coach Darnell Coles give us their reasons.
Our preparation every day is what we want to emphasize, and it seems to be working, so we're not going to stop doing that. We do have to be somewhat sensitive to a lot of games being played and get some of these guys off their feet and off their legs. Brad's going to help with that, obviously, but we'll maintain a nice work ethic, and according to who it is and how much they're playing, we'll adjust to that.
Hitting's contagious. I mean, the guys are buying into what Wally wants them to do. We're stay through the middle based offense and adjust off of that. I think that the guys are really doing a great job of setting each other up where, you got guys that are moving guys over so the other guys can get them in. The table setters are getting on base and stealing bases and creating havoc on the bases. So right now, I feel like, we're getting close. We're not quite where we want to be, but we're getting close.
You're never going to be satisfied, are you?
No, you can't be. I think that in order to be a championship caliber team, which this is, we got to continue to get better and continue to strive to do better things every day, and these guys are fantastic at doing that.
Well, the numbers are certainly indicating that they are working hard, Rod, during a 7-game win streak. Check out some of the numbers.
The biggest thing for Wally Joyner and also Darnell Coles, his assistant, is that just like Brad Ausmus, they inherited really good players. They have really good hitters, guys that have made all-star teams, guys that have played in the World Series. And the worst thing you could do as a guy like Wally Joyner is come in and try to change things up. He didn't do that. He was just available at the batting cage every single day along with his assistant, and guys worked as they saw fit.
Well, they have certainly worked well. The Tigers, again, last night, every starter had at least 1 hit in the ball game. But make no mistake, last night was Robbie Ray's night. I mean, here's a young man who made his first major league start in front of his friends and family, and he was awfully good last night.
He got off to a sluggish start. Gave up a couple of hits. There were runners on first and third, but he struck out Castro. He also struck out Carter. And then he got a harmless ground ball to the shortstop. And he just seemed to exhale after that and went on to pitch really, really well. He pretty much did what he had done down in the minor leagues. He didn't walk very many. He had a few strikeouts, and his family was in attendance. So it was a great night last night for Robbie Ray. But we made the comment before he even took the mound last night that could it get any more perfect situation for a young guy making his major league debut, first place team in this ballpark, these fans, and the Tigers offense.
Well, no doubt about it. Last night, 5 1/3 for Robbie Ray, and of course he'll get another start coming up on Sunday. That was made official, but he talked about that start that he made last night here at Comerica Park.
First inning went by pretty quick. It was a blur, but after that I settled down and I was able to embrace it.
I thought I saw a moment before your first pitch where you did look up and take it in. Mm-hmm. What were you thinking?
Just how amazing the moment was being on that mound and in front of that many fans. Being the first time, it was pretty great.
So Robbie Ray, who will get another start, as we mentioned, Anibal Sanchez able to come off the disabled list on Monday, so the Tigers will need a starter on Sunday. And while they announced it, Robbie Ray will meet that man against the Minnesota Twins. So it's good, Rod, to see him get another opportunity, and he certainly deserves it.
No doubt about that. He'll be going up against the Minnesota Twins, so it'll be a different type of offense for him. They are a little bit better offensively than the Houston Astros, so he'll just need to go out there really and do exactly as he did in his major league debut, and that's throw a lot of strikes, allow his defenders to work behind him, and don't beat himself, and do not beat himself.
Well, the man that takes the mound tonight is Rick Porcello. He is walking onto the field with his warm-up pitches, and here is the starting lineup that he will face tonight. The Astros starting 9 presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Jose Altuve leads it off. Then Dexter Fowler and Jason Castro. A middle 3 of Chris Carter, Alex Presley, and George Springer. And a bottom 3 of Mark Krause, Matt Dominguez, and Marwin Gonzalez gets the start tonight at short for the Houston Astros. And Rick Porcello is on the hill, and he is presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
It could be a challenging evening for the infielders of the Detroit Tigers because Porcello throws tons of ground balls and has done so since coming to the major leagues. And it's a light drizzle falling here right now at Comerica Park, so that ball's going to be wet. Once the infielders grab it, they need to make sure they've got a good handle on it before they throw the ball across the diamond. Let's take a look at the defensive alignment behind Rick Porcello. This evening you have Kelly in center field. 25 games in center field last season, has not committed a miscue out there. Davis back in there tonight. Hunter, he's over in right. Castellanos, Romine, Kinsler, Miggy in the infield, and Alex Avila is behind the plate.
So these Tigers are on a roll. They have won 7 consecutive games. They lead by 5 over Chicago in the Central. Austin Jackson will get the night off tonight unless he's needed later in the game as a pinch hitter, pinch runner, defensive replacement. So Don Kelly will get the start here in center field this evening. Now, as you might expect, it is a little bit cool here tonight as we check out the field conditions presented by Ace Hardware and the Scotts Company. 57 degrees our game time temp. It is wet. As Rod mentioned, there is a bit of a drizzle falling, but we're able to start this game, and so for that we are thankful this evening. Well, here we go. The Tigers trying to make it 3 straight against the Astros in this series. And on this night, you need your ponchos, your umbrellas, anything to keep you warm. But we have baseball nonetheless.
And one of the reasons why the Tigers have been able to handle the Houston Astros in the first 2 games of this series, Altuve, their best hitter. He's been silent pretty much in this series.
Yeah, I was looking at that before the game. He is 1 for 8, so they've kept him off the bases. And we are ready for baseball tonight. Altuve swings on the first pitch and pops it into shallow left field. It's Rajai Davis coming in, and 1 pitch, 1 out.
I can't think of another team that we have seen so far this year that is as aggressive at swinging at the first pitches as the Houston Astros are. But they do have a very young team. As a matter of fact, they have the youngest average age in the major leagues.
Here is Dexter Fowler, who is currently on a 5-game hitting streak, batting in the 2 spot for the Astros. Fowler at .248, couple of home runs this year. And Porcello sinks one outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Fowler earlier this year was batting in the leadoff slot, did not do so well, so they bumped him down to number 2, and the numbers have been better for Fowler. There's a strike called up with the right hand. Goes Seth Buckminster behind the plate tonight.
That's usually the area where Rick Porcello works, and that's below the knees, and it's on the corners. And that's why he gets so many ground balls. As a matter of fact, since coming to the big leagues, Porcello has thrown 2 ground balls for every fly ball.
And it really, Ron, is amazing how good his control has been. I mean, he's walked only 4 guys all year.
He's got tremendous confidence now in his changeup, in his breaking ball. He's throwing those pitches on the very first pitch of an at-bat. He's also finishing some of the left-handers off with curveballs.
Strike called, and Fowler is punched out of there. 2 gone.
He carved Dexter up nicely. Fastball at 90, followed up by a real nice curveball that he took for a strike. And then he took a 92-mile-per-hour sinker ball at the top of the zone, tailing outside, but a nice frame job by Avila.
Fowler thought that ball was high and or a touch outside. So a good start for Porcello tonight. 2 up, 2 down. And here is Jason Castro. The Astros came in at 10-23. They are off to a slow start this year. A ball club that lost 111 games last year. You can see the rain falling here at the ballpark. Even Exmo slows down the raindrops. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Stroke to center field on a line. Kelly coming on. It's going to drop. Base hit. 2-out single by Castro. First hit of the ball game for the Astros, and now Chris Carter will step in. Carter batting in the cleanup slot again here tonight. In fact, he had not hit cleanup all season long until this series started. Well, Porter felt that Carter was starting to swing the bat a little bit better, and so he decided to put him in the floor slot.
And then he ran into this Detroit Tigers starting staff.
Hey, good luck. And as a result, Carter just 1 for 7 in the series. Got an RBI as well. There's a ball inside, 1-0. He's got massive power. Carter this year has hit 4 home runs, but with that comes a lot of strikeouts. He's also picked up a few walks. That's outside. 2 balls, no strikes. 13 driven in so far this year for Carter. He's had 17 hits this season. 12 of them have been for extra bases. Two-0 was swung on and missed.
Good pitch right here. It's the last area that Carter is looking for. Fastball inside at 91 miles an hour. Swung right through it. That ball tailed in nicely on the hands of Carter.
Now Rick ready with the 2-1. Missed inside. 3 balls and 1 strike. Astros came into this game dead last in hitting in the American League. As Presley waits on deck. Houston's team batting average at .217 coming into play tonight. Swing and a miss. 3-2. Porcello got the first 2 in the inning, then a single by Castro. Castro will be on the move here with 2 outs. And that's rolled foul, third base side. This is a 4-game series between these 2 teams. The Minnesota Twins will come in over the weekend. There's Drew Smyly, who will get the call tomorrow against Dallas Keuchel. He has also given the Tigers rotation a bit of a lift. And strike 3 is called in the outside corner. Porcello gets a couple of strikeouts looking here in the first inning. And the Astros are done. Here come the Tigers in the bottom of the first inning. Their lineup anchored by Miguel Cabrera, and it's also brought to you by your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. It'll be Kinsler, Hunter, and Cabrera in your top 3 spots. Then Victor Martinez is cleaning up. Don Kelly out in center field. Castellanos at third base. Avila, Romine, and Rajay Davis for the Tigers tonight in the bottom 3, and they're facing Brad Peacock, the right-hander.
They like the skill set of Peacock. He started the season in the bullpen, but he didn't fare very well out there. Now he is making his 4th start of the year. No wins, 2 losses, ERA over 5. And take a look at that one column there where that 20 shows up that we've highlighted. That's the amount of walks that he's given up this year. It's tough to walk that many this early and have success in the big leagues.
So Peacock is ready to go, and he will face the top 3 in the Detroit lineup.
And Peacock has a fastball that will top out at 95, average fastball right around 92. He also has a slider, a curveball, and a changeup. His curveball, second best pitch, throws that quite a bit to the right-handers and to the left-handers.
Tigers really don't have a whole lot of experience against Peacock. In fact, only 2 guys in their starting 9 tonight have faced him. That would be Kinsler and Davis.
And one thing about the Tigers, however, they don't have guys that have seen him, but they have a couple of members on their 25 on their staff, I should say. One on the staff, Dave Clark and J.D. Martinez, who know a lot about him. So I'm sure they've given the Tigers hitters as much of the scouting report as they possibly could.
Kinsler looks at a ball outside. 2-0 with a count on Ian. Rain still falling here. The tarp was on the field prior to the game. They took it off, got the field ready, and then it started drizzling, which is what it's doing now. Here's the strike, 2-1.
And top 3 in the Tigers lineup got off last night. They were a combined 9 for 14. Kinsler, Hunter, and Miggy.
Yeah, Ian in that ball game had 3 hits last night, scored a couple of runs. And he takes one way outside, 3 balls and 1 strike. Oberholzer, last night's starter. And the Tigers got to him, and then the bullpen as well. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Strike call, 3-2 on Ian. Kinsler has 14 multi-hit games. Got his 14th last night with the 3-hit effort. Among the most in the American League. In fact, the second most in the American League. Here's the 3-2. And he lost him, ball 4.
Really good at bat there by Ian Kinsler, because we told you Peacock walks quite a few. So Kinsler went up there taking quite a few pitches to see if Peacock was going to find the strike zone here tonight.
He did not in that at bat. So now here comes Torrey. Hunter is 4 for 8 in the series. And because of that, he's been able to bump up his hitting streak, which now stands at a solid 13 straight games. .333 batting average for Hunter. And he looks at a strike, 0-1.
I don't know if it was because the Tigers hitters beat that shift all night long last night that the Houston Astros like to employ on just about every hitter. But this is the second consecutive hitter that they pretty much played straight up. They also played Kinsler straight up in his first at bat.
Here's a foul straight back, 0-2.
This may be the reason why they're not over shifting as much early, but we'll take a look as this game progresses. Tigers hitters just beat that shift all night long. Avila beat it. Castellanos beat it. Miggy beat it. Kinsler also beat that shift in last night's game. So it doesn't look like they're going to overshift as much here tonight as they did in the first 2 games.
One thing we do know about scouting reports, they are fluid. They are ever changing based on really what the latest data shows and what the latest games have provided. And certainly the Tigers have made an impact, it appears, tonight.
You know, it's one thing to follow the scouting report and the data of where the hitters are hitting the ball, but you also have to have the pitcher on the mound that can hit those spots and force that hitter into hitting the ball where you want him to hit it.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
There's Pat Listash. He's the third base coach. He's also responsible for the defensive alignment on most of the time.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Tigers doing a nice job of just kind of, seeing how many strikes Peacock's going to throw here early. They don't want to be over aggressive.
So Hunter, after the leadoff walk, waiting on a 2-2.
I told you about Kinsler in last night's game. Once he gets out there and once he gets set, right before the pitcher gets ready to deliver the ball, he starts to pat his feet on the ground, one after the other, trying to get on the balls of his feet, which would give him a good opportunity to get a really good jump.
That ball bounced in. Good pickup there on a backhand by Kraus. Ian, so far this year, 3 steals, been caught a couple of times. Two and two on Torrey. Peacock has yet to throw 100 pitches in any start this year. Threw 92 in his last start in 5 innings of work. High fly ball left field. It'll stay in the ballpark. Presley is under it. And that is the first out of the inning.
Well, you know, Presley, he's in left field, but let me take a moment to set the rest of the starting defense. It's brought to you by Tim Hortons. Dexter Fowler in center field, Springer the young phenom in right, Dominguez, Gonzalez, Altuve, and Krause in the infield, and Castro their catcher. He's caught all 3 of these games so far of this 4-game series.
So here is Cabrera, who is inching closer and closer to the 300 mark. He's at 293 now. Last night, for the 12th time in his career, he had a 4-hit, 4 RBI game.
And 65% of the time, Peacock starts right-handers off with a fastball. Miggy knows that. Starts Miggy off with a breaking ball.
And they continue to dare him to hit it the other way. They play him to pull. 0-1 on Cabrera.
And Miggy can go that way with regularity. You don't win 3 consecutive batting titles and be classified as a dead pull hitter. Although he has pulled the ball more this year than in recent memory.
This one is hit the other way and deep into right field. Springer back, track, wall, leaps, can't get it, it's gone!
They don't have no defense for that one, buddy.
Row 1 over the right field wall, out of the reach of George Springer, and look who's homered again.
Well, they can move guys around in that infield all day long, but unless they can plant somebody out there in them right field seats, you can't put a shift on this guy.
Homer number 4 for Miguel Cabrera, his 24th and 25th RBIs.
Miguel got a fastball that was inside, and it's easier for Miguel to drive that ball the other way, the ball that's inside versus the ball that's outside, because the hands are closer to the body, and he gets more of a compact swing when that ball is a little closer to him, and Springer nearly took that away from him.
Yeah, he did.
That got gloved.
Man, he got close. Look at this.
For the love of elevation.
Look at that, right through the railing as well. Strike 1 the count on Victor Martinez. 2-0. The home run by Miguel Cabrera puts the Tigers in the lead. It's back the other way, and back to the screen it goes. 0-2. Victor at 320 now. And he, like Hunter, with a long hitting streak. Currently, Victor sits at 9 straight. Here's the 0-2. Rolled foul.
Let's take one more look at the Miguel swing on the fastball thrown by Peacock. They want the ball in, but look at where it ends up. That's on the inner third, but look at Miggy start with the bat knob, and then all of a sudden the bat head starts to follow, and he just kind of flips that ball the opposite way. Miguel on balls that are inside can take him that way, the opposite direction, better than any right-hander in the game as we speak, with power.
And that was just the latest example. That's low, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And that's what Miguel was missing last year. And when he had that injury down the stretch, he really wasn't able to turn on fastballs. And in the postseason, opposing teams threw a lot of fastballs at Miggy, whether it was the Oakland Athletics or whether it was the Boston Red Sox.
He clearly was a different guy in the postseason because of the injury. It's flared in the air toward left. And coming in is Presley to make the play. 2 gone. A couple of fly balls to left field. And now Don Kelly. Good start again tonight for the Tigers. A 2-run shot by Miguel Cabrera here in the first inning.
Miguel was out taking batting practice today at about 2:30 this afternoon because the Tigers had a function today. They all went to a luncheon today, Detroit economic luncheon, and Miggy didn't have anything to do, so I guess he wanted to come out and take some batting practice at about 2:30, 3 o'clock today.
Why not? You had 4 hits last night. Come out, take some swings again today.
See, that's a great point right there. That's what separates the good ones from the great ones. 4 hits last night, still out working on something today.
Every single day. And it worked out well because the Tarp had to come onto the field shortly after that.
He was the only one that got BP on the field today.
That's it. Because he got here early. 2-0 the count.
Luncheon was fun today.
You know, we've gone to that, I don't know, for a decade now. Every year we've gone to that.
And today was fun, wasn't it?
It might have been the best one ever.
The chemistry in that clubhouse right now is really unbelievable, led by Brad Ausmus. Guys are loose. Guys were joking. I mean, the people that were there, they had to feel like they were part of the clubhouse.
No doubt. It just seemed like that when all the players got up and spoke. Questions were asked of the players.
Making fun of each other.
It was hilarious. And Rajai Davis was one of the funniest today, along with Torrey. Torrey was really good. Always is. Jackson was good.
Miggy's always good.
Oh, Miggy was, yeah. He had it going on today. He was funny. There's a ball outside. He walked him. Kelly is on. Here's some of that footage today. The Truck Economic Club getting together as they do it.
Line, Willie Horton.
Tiger sporting the bow ties.
It's for a good cause, too. Support the area. Baseball fields for youth in Greater Detroit.
It really is an absolute thrill for those folks to be able to sit at a table with one of the Tigers. Cabrera was one of the more funny participants today. He told us that he would like to hit behind Victor Martinez because Martinez fouls off so many pitches that he just tires the pitcher.
Yeah, and by the time he got up there, the pitcher would be tired and make a mistake.
Well, he got Peacock here in this one for a 2-run shot. Here's Castellanos. Never a good sign when the pitching coach has to come out in the first inning, but Brent Strom already made a visit out there. And Castellanos looks at ball 1. So as we told you, Peacock's walks extremely high this year. He has issued 2 more, Kinsler and Kelly. Now the 1-0. He drops in for a strike. 1-1.
74 miles an hour with that curveball right there thrown to Castellanos.
Peacock, 26 years of age, a native of Palm Beach, Florida. Swing and a miss. Castellanos out in front that time. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Nick. He sits safely in his last 4. Peacock, originally drafted by Washington, was traded to the A's in the Gio Gonzalez deal, and then eventually to Houston. And the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Castellanos is out of their side, retired. However, the Tigers take an early lead thanks to that guy. Miguel Cabrera does it again. 2-1 shot the other way. Tigers out to a nice start tonight. Rick Porcello a scoreless first inning. Miguel Cabrera a 2-run homer. And now Alex Presley will start things off here in the second for the Astros, facing Porcello. Lights are on here at the ballpark. Cool evening and cloudy and somewhat rainy in the area.
As a matter of fact, there's light rain falling as we speak.
We're able to play through it. It is not heavy enough. Hopefully it'll be nothing worse than this tonight. 0 for 3 in the series for Presley, but you do need your ponchos. Here's the 1-0. Presley, Springer, and Krause here in the second for Houston. Astros got a single with 2 outs in the first inning, but then Carter struck out. Presley, former Minnesota Twin, picked up off the waiver wire by Houston. And Porcello sinks one low. 2-1 the count. Presley's made 12 starts this year. He's hit safely in 10 of them. Here's the 2-1. 2-2 on Presley. Tigers wrapping up the series here tomorrow against Houston. And then they will play in Houston at the end of June. We've got a little swing through Cleveland, Texas, and then Minute Maid Park. There's a bouncer to the right side. Kinsler has it there. Presley is out, one gone. Hey, you know what time it is? Time for our predictions for today's Fox Sports Detroit Player of the Game, presented by McDonald's new Bacon Clubhouse Chicken Sandwich. And I'm going with Mr. Avila today.
Mr. Porcello, today he's been on a mission since last year, really.
Justin has Ian Kinsler.
Nobody took mid.
We could change that. No, that wouldn't be fair. Here's Springer. Ball up and in, 1-0. Springer, one of the prospects we keep talking about for the Astros that has gotten to the big leagues now. He's currently on a 6-game hitting streak. Tremendous skills at the minor league level. Put up big power numbers, stole a lot of bases. Foul tip into the glove, 1-1.
Takes a huge swing. He's got big power. He can do it all on a baseball field.
That missed inside. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Take a look at the aggression on the front side of his body during the course of a swing by Springer. You don't see many guys roll over the ankle like that. Looks painful, really.
You know, I don't know if we just haven't paid attention to it or if he literally is one of the few guys that does it.
I have not seen many guys with that kind of aggression on their front side.
2-2. Ball up and in. 3-2 now on Springer. Mark Krause will be next.
Already a couple of 3 ball counts today by Porcello, and he does not walk very many.
No, in fact, he had 4 walks coming in. That's it in 32 innings. Popped up foul. Heading back toward the seats. Cabrera will run out of room. A couple of rows back. Count stays full on Springer. Second fewest in the major leagues. Tim Hudson has walked only 3 with a minimum of 30 innings so far this year. And again the 3-2. Bouncing ball foul, third base side.
Yeah, Springer had a hanging breaking ball to hit there, but because he is so aggressive, every time he swings the bat, he just simply rolled over and hit it past his third base coach, Pat Listach. Pat Listach, former Rookie of the Year with the Chicago Cubs.
And again the 3-2, and he hit him.
Foul ball.
No, foul ball. Hit the bat into the glove for strike 3. Thank you very much. And Springer can't really argue it, but Bo Porter will. Home plate umpire Seth Buckminster giving the explanation.
3-2 changeup.
Oh, there it is. Hit the barrel of the bat. Okay. Right into the glove, and a nice job by Avila to hang on. So there are 2 gone now, and that is the 3rd strikeout for Porcello. Well, Bo Porter doesn't seem like he's still convinced about it, but it's the 2nd out. Krause looks at ball 1 inside.
Sitting down in Bo Porter's office today with Craig Monroe. He and Craig Monroe are really good friends, and Bo Porter, boy, tough job with this club. 2nd-year manager, but he's got a really good attitude, and he feels like they got some good players on the horizon from the minor leagues. They have some good players here, but they just don't have very much veteran leadership to sprinkle in with some of that young talent.
And that is the key point, and that's something the Tigers were able to do after that rough 2003 season. Yes, they had some young guys come up and do some good things, but you know, they were able to also go out there and get guys like Pudge and Kenny Rogers and Maglio.
And Carlos Guillen, Polanco.
Which obviously gets you to where you want to get a little bit quicker while the youngsters come. Here's the 3-0. And there's a walk, ball 4. It's a 2-out base on ball. First of the game for Rick. It'll bring up Matt Dominguez. Number 8 hitter. Dominguez 1 for 7 in the series. Well, you can see the sun is doing its best to kind of peek through here. In a cloudy evening, rainy evening, rain still falling here at the yard. Dominguez batting .227. In there for strike 1. Dominguez also has an RBI in the series. Hit 21 home runs last year for Houston. He drives this one on a line to center field. Kelly is there. Inning is over. No runs, no hits. Walk. 1 man left. Well, last night, the Pirates in San Francisco were playing a game, and here's where replay review came into play. Starling Marte came in, and that was the game's final play. They originally called him out, then they called him safe, Rod, and all of a sudden, extra innings turned into a win for the Pirates.
How about that? And we've already seen a lot of plays reviewed, I don't think a Major League Baseball thought in the first 5 weeks of the season that it would be this many.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, that is the first one this year that was that happened on the final play of the game, as it turned out. The winning run scored. They originally called Marte out and then called him safe. So in that instance, instant replay really worked, at least for the Pirates. Here is Alex Avila to start things off in the second. Avila, Romine, and Davis, bottom three. Alex at 238. But he has picked it up recently, hitting over 300 in his last 13 games.
And the reason why he has done so well is he's gotten himself in the kinds of counts that he's in right now. 2 balls, no strikes. He's going to get a fastball, and he hasn't been missing the fastballs when he gets them in this particular count.
Wally Joyner, hitting coach for the Tigers.
There you go.
Drive into right field, but Altuve had him played there on the shift. Long throw, got him.
That's not right. It's not.
That's not Major League Baseball right there. That's a softball play right there.
And he killed that 2-0 fastball, but because of the shift and where Altuve was playing that rover position in shallow right field, he was able to snare it. He still almost undressed Altuve. In shallow right field, he hit it so hard.
Well, to be fair, that is one time at least where the shift did work. And they had him played perfectly. Altuve making a somewhat odd throw for a second baseman. I mean, you're in short right field, fielding a ball off the grass, and then making that long throw to first. Here's Romine. 1-1 on Andrew. Danny Worth started last night, had 2 hits, 3 RBIs. Romine gets the call tonight. Bender drops low. 2-1. Peacock surrendered the 2-run homer in the first to Miguel Cabrera. He also walked a couple of batters. Now the 2-1 pitch. 3-1. Rajai Davis waiting on deck. There's another walk. This time to the number 8 hitter. Third of the game now for Peacock. Hey, by the way, the Tigers face the Minnesota Twins this Sunday at 1:08. It's Sunday Kids Day and Mother's Day. All kids 14 and under and moms receive a free Mommy and Me photo frame courtesy of Little Caesars. 866-66-TIGER for more info. Mother's Day right around the corner. Did you do your shopping, Ryan?
I have. I did.
have?
Yeah, I got it done on the last road trip.
Really?
I did. I got ahead of it.
Oh, so you took advantage of that off day, didn't you?
I did.
Nicely done. Davis looks at a strike, 0-1. Rajai batting in the 9 slot. Tied for first in the American League in stolen bases with 11. Altuve's up there. Brian Dozier's up there as well with 11. Runner goes, swing and a miss. Throw down to second and safe. Ball is dropped down there by Altuve. More aggressive play by the Tigers.
Don't know for sure, but it appeared to be a hit and run. What is the home plate umpire calling? He's calling him out.
I think he is. And Rajai Davis wants the explanation.
And he's sending Romine back.
So Seth Buckminster already has heard from both managers now as Brad Ausmus comes out for an explanation. Take a look, see after the swing what happened here.
Looked like he's. Oh,
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, that's an easy call.
Yeah, the bat was out there, and Castro just kind of fell right into the bat. Brad Ausmus is like, well, he was right there in the batter's box. It's not his issue.
Ausmus obviously was on the catching end of quite a few of these types of plays in his playing days. Rajai wants the explanation as well. He's not leaving. Look at the look on Rajay's face. And now joining the conversation, Mike Winters as well. So Davis called out. And back to first base goes Romine. The put out will go to the catcher there. So Romine has a stolen base taken away, and here is Ian Kinsler. Ian looks at ball one outside. Tigers a 2-0 lead on the home run by Cabrera back in the first. Here's the 1-0. Fouled back out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And Peacock has already hung quite a few breaking balls into some of the Tigers hitters. They just really haven't been able to take advantage of them yet. Miguel Cabrera homered in the very first inning, if you're just joining us, but he hit a fastball in the low 90s to right field.
There goes the runner again. Again the throw down to second. Tag in time. Out at second base, Romine. Hold on, here comes Brad Ausmus. He may have a challenge here. Ausmus going to take a walk out to the second base area. Well, Matt Martin takes another look at it underneath for the Tigers. Right now, the call on the field is out. We'll see if Brad wants to challenge here.
Is this a call where you really want to challenge it, I guess? Because if you lose,
good point.
How important is it in the grand scheme of things?
Yeah, we've talked about this. You really have to pick your challenges. And it looks like he wants to challenge this.
Because if he loses this, and obviously he has no more challenges, but 7th inning and beyond, the umpires can choose to challenge a play.
Which is one part of the rule that I don't like, because we saw that with Robin Ventura earlier on the homestand, where Ventura lost his challenge but went out from the 7th inning and beyond and got one changed.
Now, me looking at this with the naked eye, and even in slow motion, it looks like it may be difficult to change.
Well, my gut says that he's safe, but here, this might give us a better look. The problem is, with all the dirt kicking up, when does he actually touch the bag? I think he was safe.
It looks like he's safe.
Because you can tell his foot stops moving. Now, you're right, though. Is it enough to change the call on the field, which is right now out at second? And you're showing it on the big board here at Comerica Park, which is eliciting a response from the fans.
Awfully close.
But you bring up a good point. I think it's always probably wise to use your challenge, because after the 7th inning, you know you still have that opportunity on a close play where you can go out and talk to the umpire and see if they will review a play. The umpire doesn't have to do it, but more times than not, they probably would.
Right.
But Brad using his challenge here on a play at second base in the 2nd inning. And we'll see if he wins it. Safe is the call. So Romine had a steal, had it taken away, then was called out, and now was given a steal. It's a hard way to get a stolen base.
The game has changed.
It sure has, in so many ways. Well, you can always look at it this way, Rod. Now, by challenging this, you got a guy in scoring position.
That's right.
You know, it's not like challenging a bang-bang play at first. We'll see if Kinsler can drive him in. He's ahead in the count, 2-1. Way outside. 3 balls, 1 strike. That last review took 1 minute and 52 seconds. Major League Baseball released some stats after the first month. The average review took a little over 2 minutes. He had a rip, fouled straight back. 3-2 now on Kinsler. The other thing is those review times don't include the
managers strolling out there, taking their time, and then looking back in before they challenge.
Yeah, so if you included all of that, I would say that whole thing probably takes close to 4 minutes. Average. Now Peacock ready with the 3-2. Line and caught by Dominguez at third. Hit it hard, but right at him. So after all that, no runs, a walk, 1 left. Tigers baseball tonight presented by Bell Tire. By Comerica Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. By Dodge, visit Dodge.com or see your local dealer today. And by Dean's Country Fresh Ice Cream and Country Fresh Gallon Milk. It's the real deal. Welcome back to Comerica Park as the Tigers continue to lead the Astros 2-0. Top of the 3rd. Mario and Pemba, Rod Allen back here at the ballpark tonight. Joe Nicholas, our producer. Brian Moss, our director. A little bit of rain delay tonight. What was it, about 5 minutes or so? Got this game going about 7:15. And the first pitch from Porcello is a strike. Marwin Gonzalez is starting things off. Gonzalez getting the start here tonight at the shortstop position. VR started the first 2 games. Here's the 0-1. Make it 0-2 on Gonzalez.
Porcello only 4 of 9 in first pitch strikes so far in the game tonight. But part of that is because the Houston Astros are so aggressive on first pitches. Therefore, as a pitcher, you don't really have to throw one that's over the plate for them to swing at.
1-2. Gonzalez batting .281. He's got 1 homer, 1 RBI. Two-run shot by Cabrera in the first inning. The difference in this one, each team with 1 hit. Tigers hit one a lot farther. There's a ball low, 2-2. Last night the Tigers had 18 hits in the contest, which was their season high. And winning their 7th consecutive game. Here's the 2-2. Sliced into center field, base hit. Kelly over there, try and cut it off, can't do it. This thing's going to get to the wall. Gonzalez hits the bag at second and stops there with a leadoff 2-base hit. Second hit of the game for the Astros.
Anything that hits the outfield today with any kind of backspin on it whatsoever is going to skid past the outfielders. That ball just took off on Don Kelly in center field, made it all the way to the wall, but Gonzalez only ends up with a double. Very wet grass here today. It's been pretty much raining since the game started.
Second double of the year for Gonzalez. Top of the order now, Jose Altuve. .277 now for Altuve. He is 1 for 9 in the series.
This is the same combination a couple of days ago on a 3-2 count where Altuve swung through it and Gonzalez was on second base and attempted to steal and was thrown out.
Buckminster took a direct shot to the mask.
Here's that play a couple of days ago, and I want to talk to Bo Porter about it. It's the 8th inning, strikeout. That's not the one we're looking for. Here it is. That's the 8th inning. Tigers are up by 1, and he sent the base runner there, and it was a strikeout.
And some of the handiwork of Alex Avila, who had a big night in that one.
But anyway, I talked to Bo Porter about that today. That throw out strikeout of Altuve and Gonzalez, and he said 100% he would send Gonzalez again with Altuve in the batter's box because a lot of the local Houston Astros media was questioning him. Why would you send somebody in that particular situation?
Right.
He says, if I can't send a guy that has walked more than he's struck out in that situation and put trust in him, who can I send?
And you can't argue that, can you?
And he also said, if I sit back and I watch Altuve hit a ground ball there and hit into a double play because there's run on first and second, I mean, what do you do there?
Right. Well, it just didn't happen to work out, so you will be second guessed. And Altuve is a guy that, as you mentioned, doesn't strike out a whole lot, walks a lot, has a lot of base hits, 38 hits already this year. He's showing bunt, and he'll take a strike.
I wanted to hear it from Bo Porter to see if he really did send the runner there, and we expected that he did because he trusted in Altuve, and that was exactly the reason why.
So now Altuve is behind in the count 0-2. Good block by Avila. Gonzalez thought about advancing, but put on the brakes. Leadoff double by Marwin Gonzalez. Tigers have a 2-0 lead as we play in the third. Waiting on deck, Dexter Fowler. Fly ball down the left field line. It is hooking. It'll go foul. Altuve never spent a day at AAA. He was called up from AA to the big leagues. Made that jump. I'm not sure anymore, Rod, if that's a big jump. AA to the big leagues?
Nope, not anymore. And AA is a pretty good league. Usually most teams stock AA with a lot of really good prospects, a lot of talented players. And you can jump right past AAA if you've got the skill set.
Here's the 1-2. Instead, he'll bluff the runner. Gonzalez, Porcello doing all he can to keep Gonzalez close to the bag at second.
And Victor Martinez bypassed AAA. Straight to the movies.
Victor won some batting titles in the minors, didn't he?
He did. A couple of them.
Won a couple of them, yeah. Oh, that had
It had Altuve and also Seth Buckminster, the home plate umpire, was fooled too. Both of their knees buckled.
Strike 3 right there. Top of the strike zone. 2-2 the count. Altuve flied out his first time up, and now 1 for 9 against Tigers pitching. Fouled off. Altuve, also an outstanding defensive second baseman, has not committed an error yet this year from his position. In fact, there's only a couple of second basemen that haven't to this point. Eric Sogard is the other. Fly ball to right. Chasing Torrey back. Gonzalez tagging. Catch is made. Gonzalez heads to third and gets in there standing up. So Altuve advances the runner. We go to the studio now for a game break. Mickey York. All right, Mick, thanks. Here it is 2-0 in favor of the Tigers. The Indians came in at 14-19, 7.5 back. Tigers had a 5-game lead over Chicago entering play tonight.
You really can't win the pennant in the first 5 weeks of the season according to your record, and I'm speaking on the Cleveland Indians, but you sure can make it tough on yourself to catch a team like the Tigers.
Well, they nearly did it last year with that charge they put on at the end, finishing just 1 game behind Detroit.
Yeah, their month of September was extraordinary.
But you can't really count on that.
They had a lot of magic going last year. First year manager in Cleveland and Terry Francona. They added some pieces. Swisher, Bourne. Ubaldo Jimenez was lights out last year for them, second half of the year. He's gone now.
Well, Brad Ausmus asked before the game today what he thinks about his 19-9 start, and he simply said, I only worry about today, not yesterday, not tomorrow, just trying to get through today's game. He said certainly it's better to be 10 over than under, but doesn't think much about it. Chopper hit back up the middle. This will get a run in. Kinsler will throw out Fowler, an RBI for Dexter. And Gonzalez comes in to score. So Altuve moved him up, and Fowler knocks him in. It's his 8th RBI. Two to 1 ball game. 2 outs now in the third. Jason Castro singled back in the first inning. Big swing there, 0-1.
Good changeup there thrown by Rick Porcello. I was talking to Jeff Jones before the game today and was asking him what has allowed Porcello to take this next step, which has allowed him to be so efficient. He said it's his secondary pitches. It's his changeup and it's also his curveball that are much improved. He's also throwing some four-seam fastballs at 94 miles an hour, changing eye levels. He is really involved into a really good big league pitcher.
Well, the month of May has been really good in the career of Rick Porcello. 14-6 this month with an ERA of 3.13. That's obviously over the course of his career in the month of May. Here's the 0-2. Missed inside, 1-2.
Tried the little swing back fastball at 90 miles an hour, but it didn't come back enough for him.
Just a little bit off the plate. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. And Porcello now has 4 punch-outs. Miguel Cabrera will be due second when we get to the bottom of the third. Already a 2-run shot tonight.
Overholster deep his very first time up. That was a changeup into the Houston Astros bullpen. And if you didn't check in early with us today, well, you missed Miggy homering again. 2-run variety. The opposite way, nearly an outstanding catch by their right fielder, George Springer.
Trying to keep warm tonight. They've got the heaters going in the dugouts. And Cabrera marching to the on-deck circle.
About time for the weather to break, isn't it?
Well, we hear it's going to break tomorrow.
And by the time we come off this next road trip, it'll be nice and warm here in the Motor City.
You promising?
Oh, for sure.
All right. Hunter is leading it off. Torrey, then Cabrera, then Martinez. Tigers 2 runs, 1 hit. Astros 1 run, 2 hits. Hunter batting .330. Flied out his first time up. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, big swing there by T. Hunter. Usually when he takes huge swings like that, he comes up empty. But in a 1-0 count, you can afford to let it all hang out.
Torrey sends this one high in the air to shallow left.
Second hanging breaking ball that Torrey Hunter has gotten in this game, and he's just missed both of them.
And both times flying out to Presley. Here is Miguel Cabrera. 4 homers now, 25 RBIs. And he now in this series is 5 for 10.
And his batting average is up to 299.
Just about there, 300.
Was hitting about 220 about 10 days ago, wasn't he?
Doesn't take long. At least not for him. Ball 1.
And they've got that shift on Miggy once again, where they have just one member of their infield on that side, and that would be their first baseman, Krause. Everybody else over on the left side of the infield.
A little bit outside. 2-0 the count on Miguel. Outfield is deep. Look at Springer in right field. He's almost sitting in the seats. Here's the 2-0. So as you have watched Cabrera now in the last week and a half, you can tell, obviously, Rod, that things are starting to click, but what has he done differently now than he wasn't doing the first month?
Well, I think opposing pitchers are being forced into giving him better pitches to hit because Victor's hot right now, and also Torrey Hunter's hot when he's batting second. Kinsler, lots of multiple hit games, so it's a trickle-down effect as far as Miggy's concerned. If no one else is hot, then you don't have to pitch to Miggy.
Right.
But once all these other guys are hot and the bases are loaded and you always have traffic on the bases, you have to pitch to Miggy and you have to give him better pitches to hit because he commands the strike zone so well.
And Martinez behind him has been so good. That's rolled foul.
Miggy homered on a fastball his first time up, and he's gotten a steady diet of breaking balls this time up from Peacock.
Peacock has walked 3. Only one of them has scored.
Castro wanted the fastball, but Peacock didn't want the fastball, and then it looks like he agreed to it, but only if I throw it out of the strike zone.
Peacock last year had a ball game in which he struck out 10 Minnesota Twins. First rookie to strike out 10 for the Astros since Roy Oswalt did it back in 2001, and now he's not quite on the same page with Castro. 2-2.
Ooh,
Bender and a beauty.
It was. It's nasty.
2 outs.
I guess Peacock knew exactly what he wanted to throw.
Exactly.
A good curveball here. This ball started up around the neck of Miguel Cabrera, and by the time it hit the glove, it was right around thigh high.
So with 2 outs, here is Martinez. Victor looks at ball 1. 9-game streak for Martinez. The Tigers player of the month in April. As Cabrera was getting off to a slow start, it was Victor that really was helping carry the load offensively.
Victor hit .361 second half of the season last year, which led all American League players. Hit .400 during the course of the postseason, and it appears that really he hadn't had an offseason because he picked up right where he left off last year.
And you are starting to see the rest of the league show Martinez a really incredible amount of respect. He's walked intentionally 7 times already this year, which is the second highest total in the American League. Here's the 1-2. Rolled foul. Right off his foot. Right in a bad spot. Tigers 2 runs, 1 hit. And the Astros a run on 2 hits. Line drive on 1 hop to Altuve in short right field. It's the second time he's made that play tonight. He's also gotten a velo that way. That time the shift worked again. 1, 2, 3 they go. Cabrera home run. Tigers lead 2-1 as we go to the 4th, and we remind you to see the Tigers play the Rangers on May 22nd at 108. Get 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 bags of chips, and 4 drinks, all for a discounted price with the Tigers weekday value pack. Call 866-66-TIGER or check it out online, tigers.com. Texas Rangers coming to town. Well, the clouds starting to break a little bit here in downtown Detroit. Rain was falling earlier in the ball game, but it looks like we're hopefully out of any danger the rest of the night. Tigers lead 2-1. Astros batting in the 4th, and it's hammered to center field off the bat of Carter, but straight at Don Kelly. 1 gone. Time now for the Bernstein advantage. The Tigers starting rotation during this 7-game streak is a perfect 6-0, obviously, with an ERA of 1.71. So the Tigers staff has had the Bernstein advantage over their opponents during this 7-game streak. The staff has just been outstanding.
171 Ernie.
Here's Presley.
And the batters are hitting about 330.
There's the ball low. Yeah, they're just a couple of percentage points below 330, but it's been awfully good. There is Verlander, who's been part of that. Smiley goes tomorrow. Here's the 1-0. Hammered down the right field line, foul.
Smiley tomorrow will be pitching, and the guy that he'll be pitching against tomorrow was his roommate in college.
Dallas Keuchel?
Yes, they were roommates in Arkansas.
How about that?
Not teammates, but roommates.
So they would each have some really good stories about the other.
Yes, indeed. You said college was the best fun you ever had.
It is, man. 4 years of fun, or in some cases, 6, 7, 8, 9 years. Depends on the individual.
Dad, no, come on home. You've been there too long.
Yep. Sooner or later, the bank of dad closes.
Now, there's some dads after that first year. If the grade's not good, GPA's too low, come on back to the house. We're going to send you over to this community college.
Here's a bouncer foul just outside of the bag at third.
I've worked way too hard for this money.
That way we can keep an eye on you. 2-2 on Presley. Porcello has struck out 4 in this game. He has given up just 1 run, double, fly ball, and a ground out, scored it.
And I know firsthand, I had some kids on that same program.
Mm-hmm. Bank account could take a beating. Now Rick Reddy with the 2-2. Sliced to third, but right at Castellanos. 2 up, 2 down here in the 4th inning. Nick hadn't played perfectly.
Porcello throwing lots of curveballs to the left-handed batters. Really, that's the next part of Rick's game to evolve. Him limiting the damage that left-handed hitters have been able to do against him in his major league career. Right now, left-handers about 300 in the career against Porcello.
Ground ball left side. It'll find a hole. Base hit. Romine reaching for it. Couldn't get it.
Looked like he had him shaded in the hole as well.
Springer has a base hit. That's his 5th hit in this series. Well, his average starting climb.
He's got some speed, but he only has 1 steal in the big leagues, and he's been caught a couple of times.
Springer put together that unbelievable season in the minors last year. With the power and the speed.
Avila has been throwing the ball well lately. As a matter of fact, he's already caught 6 would-be base stealers, and last year he didn't catch a 6th until the month of June.
Springer last year stole 45 in the minor leagues to go with his 37 homers. He was 3 homers away from being a 40-40 guy in the minors.
That's unheard of,
especially in the minors with the less or the fewer games they play. It floats outside for ball 1. Krause walked in the 2nd inning. Grew up in the Cleveland area. Grew up a Cleveland Indians fan. And was really an outstanding high school football player. Set all kinds of records. Ohio State records for high school football and receiving. There's a wave and a miss. 1-1. Tigers have a 2-1 lead. Cabrera with a home run. And Fowler with an RBI ground out. Porcello right now has thrown 61 total pitches. We're in the 4th inning. There's the 1-1 instead back to first base. Speaking of guys that have been really good high school receivers in the state of Ohio, a couple of them have done pretty good things in other sports. We talked about Krause. How about LeBron James? LeBron was all state as a receiver.
Yeah.
He went on to have a fair career in the NBA. Fair to middling. Now the stretch.
What teams he play for, LeBron?
I've never heard of him. High fly to center. Here comes Kelly, camping under it. That'll end the inning. No runs. One hit. One man left. Check out some of the Henry Ford Museum here as we go to break. The Tigers on top, 2-1. We go to the bottom of the fourth inning tonight at the ballpark. 2-1 in favor of the Tigers. Their only hit was the home run by Miguel Cabrera. Peacock back to the hill, and when we look at his splits as a starter, it seems the numbers are much better.
Well, their reasoning in putting him in the rotation is they wanted him to get in on a regular routine. When he was pitching out of the bullpen, obviously you pitch back-to-back days, you pitch every other day, and he just wasn't commanding the baseball very well. They felt like if they inserted him into the starting rotation, because he has good skills, he could possibly harness some of that wildness and get better as a starter. And you see the numbers are better as a starter.
Well, he began the season last year as the number 4 starter in the rotation for the Astros. Then he went to the bullpen, was twice optioned to AAA before he came back up in August for good last year. That sails inside, and now he's gone behind 2-1. One of those nights where you got to be bundled up. You got to have your rain gear with you as well.
She couldn't be in better hands.
No, sir. The base hit to center for Don Kelly.
79-mile-per-hour changeup on a 2-1 count that Donnie was able to hit right back up the box. This is a really nice swing because you're looking for a fastball, and you get the changeup, and you're able to stay back long enough to barrel it up and get yourself a base hit.
Peacock, by the way, in this game is 4 for 14 in first pitch strikes. Falling behind has been something he's done a lot of tonight. Here is Castellanos. He struck him out back in the first inning. That ended the inning. Tigers have just picked up their second hit.
Bo Porter has already pitched out once in the series. And we'll see if he thinks a hit and run could possibly be on with this combination of Castellanos and Don Kelly.
Nick, so far this year, 18 driven in. second among rookies in the American League in RBIs. He has hit 4 home runs. His first big league homer off Josh Beckett out on the West Coast.
And Josh Beckett was one of those guys that Castellanos grew up idolizing when Beckett was very young and doing really good work for the then Florida Marlins. And Castellanos used to go to Pro Player Stadium all the time.
It's one thing to get that first major league homer, but to do it against a guy that you followed as a kid. It's in the air to center. Hit fairly deep playable though. Fowler backing up. And Kelly retreats, 1 gone. Nick is 0 for 2 tonight. Hey, join us tomorrow. The Tigers are wrapping up this series with the Astros. Our coverage begins at noon with Tigers Live. The Tigers and Astros tomorrow, 12 noon, right here on Fox Sports Detroit. Usually you see the 3-game series. Occasionally you'll get a 4-game set, which is what the Tigers and Astros are playing here. You become very familiar with your opponent by that 4th game. And they'll go at it tomorrow, beginning at noon with our coverage. Here's Avila. Alex was robbed, literally, in his last at bat. He hit a ball hard out to short right field, but they were playing him out there on that shift. And they threw him out. But you can tell now, Rob, that he is just more consistently starting to hit the ball harder and harder and harder.
Not missing his fastballs. And really, that's the name of the game at this level. You get yourself in fastball friendly counts, and when you get the fastball, you can't miss them.
Kelly led off the inning with a single. Here's the 0-1.
Back-to-back changeups. Gets ahead of Avila. No balls, 2 strikes. 2 really good pitches thrown there by Peacock.
0-2. Using hashtag Detroit Fan Photo for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast. It's brought to you by AT&T. Hashtag Detroit Fan Photo. That would make a good photo.
That's a winner there.
Here's Romine. Chopper foul, 0-1. Romine walking a run, scored his first time. .240 batting average this year, getting an opportunity to play quite a bit after the trade brought him here from the Los Angeles Angels. He pretty much was stuck behind Ibar over in LA. Ball high, 1-1. Another quick throw, and back in there is Kelly. Down led off with a single, but a fly ball by Castellanos and a strikeout of Avila. Peacock this year took Lucas Harrell's spot in the rotation when Harrell was designated for assignment. Their starter tomorrow, Dallas Keuchel, has been one of the more consistent starters. Another throw, and they almost got him that time as Kelly dives back in there. Here's the 1-1. Lifted back out of play. Back into the seats it goes. 1-2 on Andrew Romine. Should he reach? Rajai Davis waiting on deck. Tigers tonight in search of their 20th win of the season. They came in at 19-9. I think at this point last year the Tigers were 19-11, so really not that far ahead of the pace they established last year.
Nope, not at all.
But there's something about this ball club that I think is starting to resonate with fans here in Detroit. Their diversity in way of scoring runs up and down the lineup.
You got a bunch of guys that bring their lunch pails to work every day. Work hard, give you an honest day's work.
I just heard a fan say, throw the ball. This Peacock steps off the slab. Fans are getting a little bit impatient here with Peacock. Now the 1-2. And it's a grounded foul.
Fan kind of took the words right out of my mouth, though.
But you just can't say it. He can. Well, Rick Porcello's been good tonight. He's given up just 1 run on 3 hits. The pace of last night's game was not good either. I mean, it was, of course, the Tigers are scoring a ton of runs. But a slowly paced game last night. Same story here tonight. And again, the 1-2. Romine took it high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Astros are headed to Baltimore while the Tigers get the Minnesota Twins coming in for the weekend. Here's the 2-2. Lifted toward left field, hit pretty well. Presley is on the move. Track in front of the wall to make the catch. Inning over, no runs, a hit, 1 man left. We go to the 5th. Baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by the Sam Bernstein Law Firm, official legal services sponsor of Fox Sports Detroit, and by Bell Tire. Get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. Back here at Comerica Park, a chilly ballpark tonight, but a good crowd nonetheless. And they're watching a tight one so far here tonight. Tigers lead by a run. Rick Porcello, 5th inning, will face Dominguez, Gonzalez, and then Altuve. Dominguez flied out his first time up to center field. Tigers have 2 runs, 2 hits, and Houston 1 run, 3 hits. Cabrera with a 2-run shot, producing the Tigers offense tonight. Here's the 1-0. That's in for a strike.
Wanted to correct something I said earlier. I told you that Pat Listash won the Rookie of the Year back in '92 with the Cubs, but he won that award while playing shortstop for the Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah. Beat out Kenny Lofton that year, I think. There's a fly ball to right. Settling into the glove of Hunter.
He coached with the Cubs last couple of years, but he won that Rookie of the Year with Milwaukee.
1 up, 1 away. Marwin Gonzalez will step in. Listash that year in '92 with Milwaukee hit .290, but he stole 54 bases that season. Pat Listash.
He'll be a big league manager someday.
Think so?
Yes, I do believe so.
1-0 the count.
Well respected in the game of baseball.
Gonzalez had himself a 2-base hit to start off the third. He eventually would come around to score the only Houston run tonight. A couple of years ago, he was off the Rule 5 heap from the Boston Red Sox, so he had to stay at the big league level the entire year as the Rule 5 rules dictate, and he did with Houston a couple of seasons ago. Here's the 3-0. And he walked him on 4 straight, so that's the second walk of the night for Porcello. Hey, just a reminder as you enjoy a cold one to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. One on, one out here in the 5th. Here's Altuve. Couple of fly ball outs for Altuve.
Altuve is a really good hitter, but the one thing that he does do, hits lots of ground balls, and should he hit one here, and Tigers will be able to get out of this inning with a double play.
Runner goes, and a ground ball back up the middle, right at the bag. Kinsler tags for 1 and a double play. He hit it right to the bag where Kinsler was going. An inning-ending twin killing for Porcello, and Tigers baseball tonight presented by Belt Tire.
second base, knowing that Altuve hits the ball on the ground a lot. And he also has the responsibility of covering second base should Gonzalez take off. Gonzalez does take off. Kinsler vacates his position, gets over there, makes a play, foot on the bag, flips to first base. Second double play of the year that Altuve's hit into.
Well, that one came in handy, and it keeps the Tigers ahead 2-1. Rajai Davis will lead it off as we go to the bottom of the fifth inning tonight, and the right-hander Brad Peacock goes back to work. Davis, Kinsler, and Hunter against the right-hander. That is popped up into shallow right field. Altuve going back, however, he'll be called off by Springer. So that's 4 in a row now set down by Peacock. And here is Ian Kinsler. Had a walk and scored a run. He came around on the Cabrera homer. Ground ball left side, deep in the hole and out of the reach of Marwin Gonzalez. So Kinsler has his first hit tonight, and that is his 4th hit in this series. And he'll set up the number 2 man, Torrey Hunter. Torrey so far tonight is 0 for 2 with that 13-game hitting streak on the line.
What's that guy's name in Colorado with the long hitting streak? Arenado?
Yeah, he's what is he up to now?
26 yesterday, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that's easy to look up. 27 now. He got another hit.
That's where the pressure starts once you get around 25. Get out, ball.
Fowler for the second out. So here's Cabrera.
Take a look at Cabrera's first couple of at-bats today. First pitch, breaking ball. Second pitch, fastball. He played long ball to right field into the seats. First row, almost a spectacular catch by George Springer. Second time up, showed him the fastball in the first couple of pitches, knowing that he wanted to get him out with the breaking ball. So he threw him 2 fastballs, and then the rest of the pitches were off-speed pitches, and he was able to punch Mickey out looking. That last pitch by pitch, really good sequence by Peacock. 2 fastballs up, followed by slow breaking balls.
3 batters, 3 pitches so far for Peacock in this inning. And Cabrera looks at a ball outside. Each ball club with 3 hits. Tigers holding on to a slim 1-run lead. The 2-run shot by Miguel, his 4th home run of the year. Bouncing ball left side. Gonzalez will flip to second. They get the force. And that'll do it for Detroit. 6th inning on tap. Still 2-1.
That put the Tigers on the board first, and then you have the Houston Astros battling back a double the opposite way by Gonzalez. Nice job of hitting there by Altuve to move him to third, and the ground out to second by Dexter Valor to plate the only run scored today by the Houston Astros. Scored 2-1, Detroit on top.
So we will head now to the 6th inning of play here at the ballpark. Game 3 in the series. Tigers have won the first 2. They've won 7 straight. Fowler strikeout with that RBI ground out. Fouled back out of play 0-1. Dexter in high school received a scholarship to the University of Miami and was really had his bags packed, was ready to go to school at Miami, and then was drafted by the Rockies. He was still probably going to head to school as he looks at a strike 0-2. And 3 days before he was ready to go to Miami, his parents sat him down and said, "What do you really want to do?" And he said, "Honestly, I really want to go play pro ball." And so the decision was made. And now he's had 6+ years in the big leagues, and he strokes one to left field, base hit. Fowler is down with his first hit of the night. And while we have a chance, back to the studio we go. Game break time with Mickey York. Thanks, Mick. Here 2-1 still in the 6th inning, but the leadoff man is on now for Houston. Jason Castro, their number 3 hitter, has a single and a strikeout in this game.
With Fowler's speed at first base and the amount of ground balls that Porcello throws on a nightly basis, and we might see him on the move. I don't know if it'll be a hit and run. I don't know if it'll be the straight steal, but I know Bo Porter, their manager, knows that the odds are against his club with as many ground balls as Porcello can throw on any given night. And a perfect count as well for the Astros to put a runner in motion, but Castro is their number 3 guy, and he's got power in his bat.
There's a slow roller hit towards short. 6, 4, 3.
Oh well.
Double plays now in back-to-back innings.
Off the end of the bat, right to Romine. Nice little shuffle to Kinsler. Kinsler with plenty of time to turn it over. Oh, that's a nice look there. You can see him just following the ball. I'm talking about Romine, that feed by Kinsler. I mean by Romine to Kinsler.
Romine has played some just solid, if not spectacular, defense at short. Porcello now 75 pitches, has 2 outs here in the 6th.
You can still win at this level if you don't necessarily have offensive-minded shortstops. And that would put both Romine and Danny Worth in that category. Both are tremendously gifted defensively, but they don't get as many hits as some of the other guys, but they don't let the other guys get hits either. There's value in that.
Carter is 0-2, or 0-4-2, a strikeout and a fly ball.
I mean, all shortstops don't have to be like guys like Alexi Ramirez and Starlin Castro.
Here's the 1-1. 1-2 now on Carter. Bill Porcello now trying to get through the 6th inning here. Leads 2-1. He's ahead of Carter. A little bit outside. Derek Jeter was a pretty good offensive-minded shortstop.
No doubt. There was an era where all the shortstops were really offensive-minded.
Garcia Parra
kind of started with Cal Ripken Jr.
The 2-2 is popped up.
Jeter, Garcia Parra, A-Rod, Tejada.
It's a pretty good list.
All offensive-minded shortstops.
Let's go to the bottom of the 6th. Detroit Tigers home run by Miguel Cabrera. The difference right now in the ball game for Detroit. Mario and Rod back here at the ballpark. Glad to have you with us as well here this evening. Rick Porcello, well, I guess he's just continuing what this Tigers rotation continues to do, and that's get outs, pitch well.
You know, I really like the way that he's attacking the Houston Astros today. Not necessarily a lot of first pitch strikes, but lots of good breaking balls, lots of changeups. Very aggressive team. You don't want to throw balls right over the heart of the plate.
Well, Miguel Cabrera took one and deposited the ball into the right field seats here earlier today, and he just continues to get it done.
You know, he has 4 home runs. He's driven in 25, but he's hitting close to 300. There's people that say he's off to a slow start. I mean, this guy has set the bar so high with his skill set. Home run the opposite way on a fastball inside from Peacock. Looks like Miggy's starting to really heat up, and as Miggy goes, the team goes.
Well, here is Martinez. Tigers trying to pad their lead here in the 6th. Victor and then Kelly and then Castellanos. Martinez tonight 0 for 2, fly ball, ground out. Tigers have only 3 hits in this ball game tonight, but they lead by a run. Last time Martinez grounded out, it was to short right field, where Altuve is currently positioned in the outfield grass as the Astros continue to play that deep shift against him.
And no balls, 2 strikes. So here's where Victor usually tries to go the opposite way. Uh-oh.
High, towering fly ball, right field. Ball is hit well. Springer to the wall. It looks up and gone.
I meant a long way, not the opposite way.
We'll give you that one. It's a solo homer.
That's an 0-2 pitch.
And apparently not a good one.
And most left-handed hitters, I mean, they just love the ball down, but Victor climbed the ladder and got on top of that 90-mile-per-hour fastball. Look at this fastball up. He throws it exactly where Castro wants it, and somehow, some way, Victor able to get up there and barrel it up and hit it into the right field seats for his 6th homer of the year.
So Martinez now has 18 RBIs. It's a 10-game hitting streak for Victor. Big run for the Tigers. They now lead by 2. 3-1. He did not hit his 6th home run until June 22nd last season. But of course, as we know, he got off to that slow start last year before really pouring it on in the second half.
Yeah, this team can beat you a lot of different ways. Look at Torrey simulating where that ball was.
Up in his helmet.
Over your head.
He wasn't quite that high, Torrey.
Yeah, they are having a lot of fun down there.
1-2 on Kelly. Popped up. Foul ground at third. Dominguez. 1 out. Tony Sitt warming up in the bullpen, the former Cleveland Indian.
I just acquired him a couple days ago.
He's lined quite a bit.
Sure did.
Over the last couple of years out of that Indians pen.
He's a nice story, too. Wasn't drafted very high, somehow made it to the big leagues, and he's made a nice living. He's carved out a nice little career for himself.
Ball 1 to Castellanos. Put in play to third base. Dominguez has it there. 2 gone.
Yeah, the home run by Victor so impressive. Going to show it to you one more time. 0-2 pitch. They want it up. They got it up, but not high enough.
Well, in a pitch like that, you're just hopeful a guy will leave the strike zone and swing right through it, but he went up there and got it.
Or take it, because really you're trying to get to the next pitch. You just want to show him that. That's not the pitch you really want to get him out with. You just want to show it to him to either go back to another fastball or something soft, but Victor just got up there and got it.
And gives the Tigers a 3-1 lead. Ball 1 to Avila. Ground out strikeout tonight for Alex. Breaking ball breaks in for a strike. 1-1 the count. Peacock now at 88 pitches as we play here in the 6th. Vila shatters his bat, rolls it back up the middle. Long throw is in time for the out. What a play by Altuve. Or was that Gonzalez?
Gonzalez.
That was Gonzalez. Nicely done. Yeah, they had the shift on, and Marlin from short center field. Great play, but Victor goes deep. Solo shot for the Tigers. 3-1.
Four strikeouts so far tonight. He got the first 2 strikeouts on good moving fastballs, and then he got 1 strikeout on a changeup up and into George Springer. Then he got himself another strikeout on curveball. He's also got some help from his defenders. 2 double plays turned, one by Kinsler. He did it by himself. Then this one, Kinsler got some help from Andrew Romine, his dad's Kevin Romine.
Well, 80 pitches now for Porcello, 6 innings. 4 strikeouts, 1 run. Rick tonight is looking for his 4th consecutive victory. And the Tigers have given him another run to work with on the Victor Martinez home run, 3-1. Swing and a miss. Alex Presley starting things off. It's easy to get the Romines mixed up. You got Dad Kevin, you got Andrew.
Yep.
You got Austin, his brother. All that play professionally. Presley, Springer, and Krause here in the 7th. And a ball outside, 1-1.
Porcello has 65 wins since coming to the major leagues in 2009. And that ranks 10th in the American League in victories. Only 9 other guys in the last 4 years have won as much as Rick. And that list is guys like Verlander and Price and CC Sabathia and guys like that.
They're all pretty good. He has wins this year over Baltimore, the Angels, the Twins, and the Royals.
And that win over the Angels was really impressive.
Yank foul. Yeah, because they had his number, and all he did was go 7 innings, 5 hits, 1 run.
He exercised some demons that night.
Presley is 0 for 2, ground out, line out. Popped up, shallow left, Davis. Presley is gone, 1 away.
Here is our Xfinity, high speed pitch of the evening thrown by Rick Porcello, 92 he's topped out at today. He's thrown several breaking balls in that 74 mile per hour range.
Here's Springer. I was reading something on Springer the other day, Ron, which really I thought was interesting. We talk all the time about how a lot of big league players play a lot of different sports.
Right.
Growing up, whether it's soccer, basketball, or football. Springer's parents had him involved in gymnastics.
Really?
Which he was heavily into as a kid. And he said it really went a long way to building my upper body strength, my body control.
Agility, I can imagine.
Yeah, agility. I mean, it's you don't hear of it very often, but he did a lot of gymnastics.
He's going to be a really good big league player, but right now he just overswings too much. There's just way too much aggression. I don't know if he's trying to do too much, but he's got the skill set. That much is for sure.
Well, that may be part of it. This is an offensively challenged team, and of course he put up big numbers in the minors. Did he go? He sure did. Seth Buckminster called him out, and Springer disagrees.
Ooh,
he may have had beef.
Might have had a beef.
Rick now with 5 strikeouts. Here's Krause. Mark 0 for 1 with the base on balls. So Porcello now at 90. 106 in his last start, the most he has thrown in a single game this year. 1 ball, 1 strike. There is action in the bullpen for the Astros. They've got the right-hander side warming up. One pitch floats to the outside corner for a strike.
He has done a lot of that tonight against the left-handed batters. That little slow lollipop curveball that he's been able to throw for strikes whenever he wants to.
Sales outside, 2-2.
Porcello also throwing a cut fastball these days. I was wondering what was registering at about 88 miles an hour his last outing, and Jeff Jones told me he's been, tinkering with a cutter, which kind of acts like a slider.
That ball is going to get down and split the gap. Extra bases to the wall it goes. Krause on his way to second. He will stop there. It is a 2-out, 2-base hit.
Most left-handers love the ball right down in this area where Krause was able to get this one. Really, all you have to do is drop the barrel of the bat into the hitting zone, and he gets himself a stand-up double.
That'll be the 5th hit of the game now for Houston. Krause has his 2nd double of the year. And it brings the tying run to the plate. Matt Dominguez. In for a strike, 0-1. Tigers tonight have been out hit 5-4, yet they lead 3-1. Astros tonight have hit into a double play in the 5th and 6th innings. Dominguez 2 fly ball outs in this game. Slices one to right and short hopped by Hunter. They're going to hold the runner at third base. Torrey gets it back in quickly.
What a gamble there by T. Hunter. But really, he kind of got caught in no man's land, charging that ball, trying to make a play.
Ooh, you're not kidding.
Oh, he got lucky.
Listash at third, holding up the runner, Kraus. Jeff Jones coming out now, and that'll be first and third for Houston. The tying runs are on. Porcello at 96, and Jabba Chamberlain is tuning up in the Detroit bullpen.
Jabba didn't work in last night's game. Albuquerque worked in last night's game. Evan Reed also worked in last night's game. And Miller.
Looks like Marwin Gonzalez. I thought they were calling him back. He's just actually going back to doctor up the bat a little bit. It's 1-for-1 double to walk, and he has scored their only runs so far. We got runners at first and third. Kraus and Dominguez. Rick trying to get that final out here in the seventh. He got the first two batters, then a double and a single. Off the end of the bat, foul.
Hit that ball right off the end of the bat. Kind of splintered a little bit, but he's not going to change it.
Saw some pieces fly. Weren't very big, obviously. He fouls off another. Now the count is 0-2. Tigers got 2 in the first and 1 in the sixth. The Astros got 1 in the third, but they're threatening here in the seventh. With 2 away, and Avila comes out to talk with Porcello. Rick's longest outing of the year, 7 innings. He's done it twice. Trying to get through 7 here tonight. His next pitch will be his 99th of the evening. And he missed with it outside. 1-2.
And that breaking ball might have just been the pitch they want to set up. And that may be the fastball back upstairs to see if they can get Gonzalez to chase it.
Pulled on the ground and through. That's a base hit. Kraus will score. Dominguez goes to second, and the number 9 hitter Marwin Gonzalez makes it a 3-2 ball game.
Well, Gonzalez got the fastball, but he got the fastball down and hit an absolute frozen rope right between Kinsler and Miguel Cabrera.
So on the 100th pitch of the night, Rick Porcello is done. Second hit of the night for Gonzalez. All of a sudden, it's a 1-run game. .100 pitches tonight for Rick. 63 strikes. Wall side windows pitching change. Tigers go to the bullpen, and Rick gets a nice round of applause. We'll be back. Inning, Cabrera, 2-run shot in the first. He's homered now in back-to-back games. Right now, the Martinez home run in the 6th inning is the difference. And Marwin Gonzalez, their number 9 hitter, has been on base all 3 times tonight. He's just delivered an RBI single to make it 3-2. And so the Tigers now will go to the bullpen. There is Mr. Jabba Chamberlain.
And Chamberlain now pitching in his 14th game for his new club, the Tigers. ERA is continuing to go down. It sits at 3.97 as we speak, but very good in the strikeouts and walks department. 15 strikeouts, only 3 walks.
So Porcello is hoping that Chamberlain now can strand these 2 runners. They are his property as Jose Altuve stands in.
Last 11 times that Jabba Chamberlain has gone out there, his ERA is sub 2. 1.93 to be exact.
0 for 3 tonight for Altuve. Hit into a double play his last time up. And Altuve in the series now is 1 for 11. The Tigers have done a really good job to this point of really manhandling their leadoff man.
Hate to say it, but he's due.
This
guy's such a good hitter. And he's the kind of guy that scares you in these kind of situations.
And a little bit high. 2 balls and no strikes. Not only that, but now he's gotten ahead in the count.
He's a free swinger, though. If you throw him a fastball about a letter high, you might get him to pop it up. Because he will be swinging. Doesn't walk very much, and he doesn't strike out very much.
Altuve has seen Chamberlain once. 1 plate appearance. It was a walk. Good pitch in for a strike.
Breaking ball. Slide piece thrown by Jabba. Jabba went from not being able to have any facial hair to having a whole lot of facial hair.
As much as he wants. That's in for a strike. Now it's 2-2.
Of course, when you wear the Yankee pinstripes, everybody's clean shaven.
Altuve came into this game having walked as much as he has struck out, 12 against 12. So he does put it in play. Trying to do so here with 2 outs in the 7th. Bouncing ball to second. Should get him out of the inning. Kinsler throws him out, and Jabba does the job. Stretch time. Detroit is brought to you by the new Chevy Silverado light duty and heavy duty lineup. By Arby's, try Arby's Smokehouse Brisket Sandwich today. And by AT&T, mobilizing your world. Well, we're having fun here at the ballpark tonight. Why not? Tigers in the lead here. It's been a tight ball game, though, all night long. And as we promised earlier, the AT&T fan photo of the game. Tweet your photo to hashtag Detroit Fan Photo for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast. It is brought to you, as always, by AT&T. And maybe you can have your photo On a Tigers broadcast, Jabba Chamberlain comes out of the bullpen and gets the final out to the bottom, or the top of the 7th. So we go to the bottom. See if the Tigers now can rebuild the lead. They've got Romine, Davis, and Kinsler. Detroit 3 runs, 4 hits. Houston 2 runs on 7 hits. Neither team has an error, and the first pitch from Peacock is outside. Romine a walk and a steal in the ball game tonight. 1-0 has popped up. Third base side. Dominguez might have room. He does. 1 away. Bring him Rajai Davis. Davis is 0 for 2. Showing bunt. Missed it high. 1-0. One ball, 1 strike. He went around, said the home plate umpire. Two and 2 the count. I was talking to Rajai the other day about being a 38th round pick and how when you get to professional baseball that deep in the draft, you better do something special to open up some eyes early. And he did that. He hit 384 in his second year of pro ball, and he said that was really what kind of spurred my opportunity. He'll roll that one foul. And he said you really kind of have to stand out if you're if you're a high draft choice. You certainly get more leeway.
There is no doubt about that. The guys that are drafted higher, guys that are given quite a bit of money, they're going to get every opportunity to get to the major leagues. If you're drafted a little bit lower, if you're a pitcher, you have to have really good years. If you're a hitter, you got to hit your way to the big leagues.
And Davis hit 384 his second year in pro ball, and then the next 2 seasons hit over 300. And he was also stealing a lot of bases, and he was often running there, literally. Kind of put himself on the map. Here's the 3-2. Lifted back out of play.
Meanwhile, Peacock has only given up 4 hits to the Tigers today.
Doesn't seem like it, but he has.
So clearly he has gone out there and given them exactly what Brent Strom, their pitching coach, and the manager, Bo Porter, hoped that he would do. Stabilize their bullpen. He's done that tonight. Ooh.
Lost in ball 4.
Oh, that's a double there.
You know Davis is going to be going.
Really close pitch. Close take by Davis.
Looks like that's going to be it for Peacock. Josh Zeid has been warming up. Bo Porter making the slow stroll out to the hill. We'll see if he's got the hook with him. 99 pitches for the right-hander. Looks like he may stay.
He talked him into it.
Apparently. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So Zeid is going to have to wait before he can come into this game. One on, one out. We're in the bottom of the 7th. Tigers up by a run. Kinsler coming up. Ian a single, a walk, and a run scored. Rajai has 11 steals, tied for the league lead.
Sometimes Ian Kinsler will jump on the first pitch because he knows he's going to get a fastball, and sometimes he'll simply take it to allow Rajai to steal a bag.
Rajay was asked a question at the luncheon today, what he could teach youngsters about stealing bases. He had a great answer.
What was that word? The word?
If I could teach them courage, I would.
Yep.
You've got to have courage. You can't be afraid. Oh, he bluffed.
He took one step. He wants to steal, but he didn't get the kind of jump that he wanted to get, so he simply shut it down after one step. I believe he slipped. He's on the move here, but didn't get a good jump.
Used to work a lot with Ricky Henderson. What did he say Ricky used to tell him? Ricky said, you got to go. That was his advice. Just go. Draws another throw, and he'll get back in there. So Peacock trying to deal with Kinsler here and deal with Davis at the same time. He has reached the 100 plateau.
That is something that Rajay Davis and Ricky Henderson have in common. When they take their first step, they are running full speed. A lot of guys, it takes them 3-4 steps before they can really build up the kind of momentum and speed that it takes to steal a bag.
And now Peacock really preoccupied.
That's the best way to shut down the running game right there. If you hold the ball, that base runner gets antsy. And then they're not able to get the kind of jump that they would like to get simply by the pitcher just holding the baseball. If you're Bo Porter and you're convinced that Rajay is running, you could pitch out, but that would be an awfully tough situation to put Peacock in. If Rajay's not running, the count would then run itself to 2 balls and no strikes.
Pitch out.
And he just ran the count to 2 balls and no strikes.
So the clock continues to thicken here. 1-out walk by Davis has created some trouble here for Brad Peacock. Two-0 pitch in there, a strike on the outside corner. 2-1 now on Ian Kinsler.
All 3 pitches that he has thrown to Kinsler have been fastballs. And the reason for that is they're anticipating that Davis is going to try to steal. And obviously fastballs give Castro a better opportunity to throw.
Get that?
I did not get that.
Two and one. Ooh, that one was closer. Rajay diving back in that time.
The thing about Bo Porter when he goes to these signs, though, it could be somebody else in the dugout that Castro, the catcher, is looking at. That's really giving him the sign that he wants to get. I mean, just because he's going through those signs, that doesn't mean that that's the one that Castro's looking at in the dugout.
Peacock is not making any fans here at Comerica Park.
But he's doing his job, though.
He is. I mean, he's doing a fabulous job of holding Davis as closely as he can here.
We'll see if Davis forces the issue here, because it's been difficult for him to get a jump so far.
There's another throw. And the boos were getting louder and louder. As Peacock tries to keep Rajai Davis, looked like he was going early in the count, but was spinning his wheels, so he shut it down.
Even if Davis isn't going to go, he is occupying all the attention of the pitcher Peacock, and Peacock is liable to make a mistake in that strike zone that Ken Kinsler on this 2-1 pitch.
There he goes. There's a ball that's hit down the right field line, foul.
That was a hit and run.
Kinsler did all he could to get the bat on the ball and just sprayed it.
Otherwise, he doesn't swing at this pitch.
How's that for an awkward swing?
That's your job, though. You got to somehow put it in play.
Two and two. Torrey Hunter waiting on deck. Davis last year stole 45 with Toronto, 46 the year before that. As many as 50 in a single season. Did that with Oakland back in 2010.
And last year, Davis stole more bases by himself than the entire Tigers team.
Missed outside 3-2. Hunter on deck. Tigers have used a couple of home runs tonight for their scoring 2-run shot. Cabrera in the first, solo homer Martinez in the sixth. Runner goes. Swing and a miss. Throw down to second. Not in time.
That's a nice job there by Davis. Even though he knows that on the 3-2 count, you're not necessarily trying to steal the base. You want to get a good jump. You'd like to steal the base, but you're also hoping that the hitter can put the ball in play. And once he looks in and sees that it's strike three, a couple of extra steps of burst there allows him to make it safely.
So that'll be it for Peacock. Porter makes his second trip out to the mound. The starter is done after 105 pitches. It's a Wallside Windows pitching change. Good job, says Porter. Takes the baseball. And the Astros go to the bullpen. We'll be back. Innings of work.
How about Tulowitzki's numbers at Coors Field in Denver this year, hitting over 600? Those are PlayStation numbers.
Yeah, that's crazy, especially over a month into the season. And Henderson Alvarez, 3 shutouts over his last 8 starts.
One of those shutouts came against the Tigers. It was the final day of the regular season last year when the Tigers were down in Miami. Alvarez threw a no-hitter against the Tigers.
Well, Josh Zeid is on now for Houston.
Here are his AAA numbers. And he was doing a very nice job in the minor leagues. ERA shade over 2. and 12 in the third innings. He averaged over a strikeout per inning, and he had 5 saves, and the league was hitting .205 against him.
So Josh Fields, who pitched in last night's ball game, was sent down, and Josh Zeid was called up from Oklahoma City. And Peacock will leave with a man at second and 2 outs, and Hunter coming up. Torrey is 0 for 3, and that 13-game hitting streak is on the line tonight. More importantly, trying to get another run in here for the Tigers, who lead 3-2 in the 7th. In for strike 1.
First pitch slider, and thrown by Zeid at 84 miles an hour.
Zeid made his big league debut last year with the Astros, pitching in 25 games over the final 2 months of the year. You got him from the Phillies in the Hunter Pence trade. Rajay Davis walked with 1 out, stole second. Kinsler struck out. Hunter with 2 fly balls to the left, 1 to center. Here's the 0-1. He's going to send the catcher Castro out to the mound. Big runner standing at second base right now for the Tigers, an insurance run. They had a 3-1 lead, but the Astros got a run back in the top of this inning on the RBI single by Marwin Gonzalez. Peacock hoping that Zeid can get the final out here. Fouled back, big swing by Torrey. Now 1-2. Hunter this year has knocked in 20. Among the team leaders right now, Cabrera with 25 is leading the way.
And he probably will not relinquish it the remainder of the way.
I think it's a pretty good bet.
Yeah.
Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. Zeid comes out of the bullpen, records a big strikeout. And the Tigers strand a runner as we go to the 8th inning. Tigers fans enjoying a good ball game here tonight. The Astros and Tigers hooked up in a duel. the Tigers hooked up in a tight one here tonight at Comerica Park. The Tigers with a slim 1-run lead against the Astros. And right now we send it down to the field. Check in with Justin White with a preview of tonight's Tigers Live.
Yeah, Mario. Mickey York's in the Coliseum studio. You'll hear from manager Brad Ausmus, and I'll chat with Victor Martinez about his 10-game hit streak after that big home run here tonight. It's Tigers Live immediately after the game right here on Fox Sports Detroit. Mario and Rod, back to you for now.
All right, Justin, thank you very much. We look forward to that. We look forward to Jabba Chamberlain continuing to pitch well here in the 8th inning. He'll face Fowler, Castro, Carter, the 2, 3, and 4 hitters for Houston.
Very important to keep the leadoff man Fowler off the base path, here in the 8th inning.
Jabba 94 threw that one by him, 0-1. Chamberlain came on, got the ground out of Altuve in the 7th inning. That ended that frame, kept it a 3-2 ball game. Another wave and a miss, 0-2.
Met Jabba's dad over in Kansas City. What a nice man. It's a wonderful story. Jabba growing up playing catch with his dad. Every day he said he played catch with his dad.
Harlan has done a wonderful job with Jabba Chamberlain, raising him. The 0-2 outside, 1-2. I think you can kind of trace the Tiger bullpen settling down to what Jabba has done.
Oh yeah, he's pretty much slowed things down as far as that 8th inning is concerned. And Albuquerque quietly has been really good too.
1.93 ERA in his last 11 outings, and Fowler is still alive, 2-2.
I was thinking about this a little bit last night as I was driving home, and the Tigers bullpen as a whole, they've given up some runs, but the runs that they've given up, whether it be Nathan, whether it be Jabba, whether it be Phil Koch, they've given up a lot of runs in games that were pretty much already decided late in games. So they came into the games to get some work and gave up runs.
Well, meanwhile, 3-2 here on Fowler. Castro on deck. Pull to right field foul. 26,207 the attendance here tonight at the ballpark.
Can't wait until the weather warms up. You know, this thing will be filled to capacity on a nightly basis.
Summertime here at the ballpark is pretty special. Full house, good team. There's a 3-2 swing and a miss, struck him out. Fowler is out of there. Big strikeout, one gone.
Jabba has 4 pitches. He has the fastball in the mid to upper 90s. He's got a slider, got a curve, and a changeup, and he will use all of them. 3-2 breaking ball here to Fowler.
So the speedy Fowler is kept off the base paths, and now Jason Castro will stand in. Single, strikeout, double play ball for Castro. Ball 1. Both teams have stranded 5 in this game. Porcello, the starter for the Tigers. Peacock for Houston. Chad Qualls warming up in their bullpen. Here's the 1-0. Fouled away, 1-1. Final game of the series tomorrow, and Drew Smyly will take his turn. Tigers in search of their 8th consecutive victory.
It's the longest winning streak in the majors.
They would win their 20th game of the year if they hold on to this one tonight. Ball 2. Oakland came in to play tonight with 19 wins as well. Tigers the only team in the American League with fewer than double-digit losses. They've lost only 9. Swing and a miss. 2-2 on Castro.
Tigers have the best winning percentage in the major leagues. only because they have not played as many games as some of their opponents.
Here's some of the best records through 28 games since 1969. Of course, that 84 team stands alone. For Brad Ausmus, 19-9, an awfully good start. Got him, strike 3 in the outside corner.
Frozen and with a 95-mile-per-hour heater. 2 punch-outs so far by Jabba in this inning.
And Castro didn't agree with it. And it seemed to be just a shade outside, according to Fox Strikes. Now Chris Carter. Strikeout, flyout, pop-up. Strike 1. Tigers tonight have actually been out hit 7-4. Oh, 2.
Job of spotting that 95-mile-per-hour fastball on the black. And whether it be to the previous hitter Castro or Carter, who he's facing right now. He wouldn't chase. Carter will chase now. You can throw it up there again, or you can throw him a breaking ball. If you get it far enough away from him, and he'll swing at it.
Ooh. Even the count now, 2-2. Got him, strike 3. Chavez strikes out the side.
I see you, Jeff.
He retires all 4 that he's faced in this ballgame tonight. Marches off the mound, and the Tigers will come up with a 1-run lead in the bottom of the 8th. Some outstanding baseball. He strikes out the side in the 8th. Tigers lead it 3-2 as we go to the bottom of the 8th. And the Tigers Foundation and Fox Sports Detroit are pleased to launch a unique partnership with the Bowtie Cause Foundation to offer a special edition bow tie to benefit youth baseball in the greater Detroit area. For more information or to purchase your bow tie tonight, visit tigers.com.
Did you tie that bow tie right there?
I did not, but it looked good, huh? Here is Chad Qualls, who will take over.
12th game now that Qualls has been in. Lots of strikeouts, 13 strikeouts. Just 3 base on balls. Last 3 games versus Detroit, logging 3+ innings. Has not given up any runs.
See if the Tigers now can add some insurance as Miguel Cabrera leads it off. Cabrera, Martinez, and Kelly. And the first pitch is in for a strike.
95 with some life on it.
Zaid pitched to one batter, and now Qualls takes over. Chad Qualls began his big league career with Houston, then went to Arizona, Tampa, San Diego, Philly, Pittsburgh, Miami. Swing and a miss. 0-2 on Cabrera. Qualls is 35 years old. Miggy 2-run shot in the first. Tigers have hit 2 homers tonight.
Here's that first inning home run. He hit it off their starter, Brad Peacock.
Just out of the reach of George Springer. Look out down there, Vizquel. Omar had his spin out of the way of that one. Two.
Miguel hit that ball right off the end of the bat, and right now can't feel his hands. He's trying to wait and buy a little time to get the feeling back in that top hand. It's not a pleasant feeling at all.
Bouncing ball left side of the infield. Gonzalez in the dirt, but scooped at first base. So Miggy now 1 for 4.
They had the shift on Miggy. They had 3 men on that side of the infield. Both he and Altuve could have made this play. It would have been a little bit more difficult play for the second baseman Altuve had he gloved it.
So here's Martinez. Altuve and Gonzalez now playing together on the right side of the infield as they shift the other way for Victor.
And last time Victor was up, 0-2 pitch from Brad Peacock was a ball up the top of the strike zone, and Victor got on top of it and hit it out to right field.
Ball 1 outside.
You can just tell that Victor's legs are just so much stronger this year versus last year, hitting for more power already this season.
Well, his home run in the 6th inning was his 6th of the season already.
He hits big home runs too.
Well, the one that stands out to me early in April is the one he hit in Los Angeles.
Oh yes,
and one against the Dodgers that won it.
Kenley Jansen, their closer.
Yeah,
it's about 98 miles an hour too.
Went out faster than that. Nathan warming up. Chopper back to the mound. Qualls handles it. 2 gone. Well, this Saturday the Tigers face the Minnesota Twins at 1:08. Be sure to arrive early for the special pregame on-field clinic hosted by Tigers players and coaches. Call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. Learn from the pros.
3 of the next 4 games here at Comerica Park to finish out this homestand will be played during the day.
That's right. Saturday's a day game.
It is.
Sunday's
and tomorrow.
And tomorrow. Ball 1. Kelly in the ball game tonight on base twice. Single walk. Batting .308 for the year. (2-0). Peacock started, gave way in the 7th to Zaid, and now Qualls here in the 8th. The well-traveled Chad Qualls. One time saved 24 games for the Diamondbacks. That was back in 2009. Here's the 2-0. Bouncer back up the middle. Nobody there for that one. And Donnie has his second hit of the night. 2-out single.
Qualls has come full circle. He started his major league career with the Houston Astros as well. Apparently not really happy with this last pitch. And ball hit right back up the middle.
Here's Nick Castellanos. In search of his first hit tonight, 0 for 3. Runner goes. Strike called, no throw. Kelly steals it without a throw.
Don Kelly's had a real nice day. Walked his first time up, a couple of singles, now a stolen bases, and Qualls, their pitcher, just forgot all about him. High leg kick, outstanding jump by Don Kelly. Getting the start in center field tonight. Jackson getting a little rest. Although Jackson might just enter the game in the bottom half of the 9th inning as a defensive replacement.
Meanwhile, it's 0-2 on Castellanos. Yeah, especially in a one-run game. And maybe something Brad might want to consider. Tigers tonight have been out hit 7-5. Oh, 2 on Castellanos. Low 1-2. This would be a huge run if Nick can come through here with 2 outs. And the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Castellanos is out of there. And that'll do it for the Tigers. No runs, a hit. They leave a man. Joe Nathan will check in, trying to save a one-run game. Still has something left. Meanwhile, as we go to the 9th inning here, 3-2 in favor of the Tigers. They need 3 more outs as Joe Nathan will check in. And, well, where does he sit among the all-time saves leaders? Right now he's at number 9. And chasing Troy Percival, of course, Mariano Rivera, 652, the all-time leader. Here are the numbers on Nathan.
He has 6 saves this year in 8 chances. ERA at 4.63 and 12 strikeouts, 6 walks. Fastball 90 to 93. Also cuts the fastball, slider, curveball, and a changeup.
So Jabba Chamberlain goes an inning and a third, strikes out 3, including the side in the 8th, and now Nathan in the 9th.
Very impressive by Jabba.
In there for strike 1. Alex Presley leads it off. George Springer to follow, and then Mark Krause. Those are the scheduled hitters. Tigers 3 runs, 5 hits. Astros 2 runs, 7 hits. One ball, one strike. Swing and a miss.
6 of the Astros' last 9 games have been decided by 2 runs or fewer, including 1-run games in 5 of those contests. So the Houston Astros have been playing some really close games, but not able to win many of those contests.
Got another tight one here tonight. Bouncing ball to second. Kinsler throws him out, 1 away. Fans, follow every Tigers game with MLB.com at bat on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. Get live look-ins, instant replay, scores, stats, audio, and free MLB.tv game of the day. Download at the App Store or visit Tigers.com. Here's George Springer. 1 for 3 for Springer. 5 hits in the series. The series which concludes tomorrow here at the ballpark. Went around 0-1. Nathan last year saved 43 games for Texas. Did much of his work, though, early in his career with the Minnesota Twins from 2004 to 2011.
He was on the Tigers' radar well before the season ended last year. Detroit knew that he was going to be a free agent, and Detroit also knew that they needed a closer, somebody to stabilize the back end of their bullpen. They weren't going to offer Benoit a contract because Benoit was an 8th inning guy, and he pretty much earned a huge payday, and the Tigers simply spent that money on Joe Nathan.
Nathan bouncing back nicely after missing all of 2010 with Tommy John surgery. Outside.
There was a time when Nathan was 96, 97 in his first few years as a closer in Minnesota. Velocity does not get that high, but he makes up for that with command, location.
Here's the 2-1. 2-2. Waiting on deck is Mark Krause. 3-2 Tigers. We're in the 9th inning. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Springer down on strikes for the 3rd time today. 2 gone.
Unhittable slider there thrown by Nathan to Springer.
There's 9 strikeouts for Tigers pitching.
5 of those strikeouts have come in the last 3 innings.
More than 26,000 looking for that final out. And Joe Nathan trying to oblige here as Mark Krause stands in. One ball and no strikes on Krause. Now he had a double in the 7th inning off Porcello and eventually scored a run on a single by Gonzalez. There's a strike 1-1. This is Rick's game to win if Nathan can close it down. Outside, 2-1. Jabba Chamberlain got an out in the 7th, struck out the side in the 8th. He gives way to Joe Nathan here in the 9th. And the 2-1. 3-1. It missed outside. Astros trying to get the tying run on.
Well, if you want him to hit it, you want him to hit it to the big part of the ballpark. And fastball away will probably get fly ball straight away center field to Don Kelly.
And he lost him ball 4, so the tying run is on with 2 outs. Tiger bullpen had retired 6 in a row prior to that base on balls.
I don't know if that base on balls was by design. Krause does have some speed. Some power. He's hit 2 home runs, but the guy standing in the batter's box right now, Dominguez, has 4 home runs and hit 20 last year.
Looked like it might have been.
Well, yeah, he was so efficient. It looked like he just pitched around him to get the matchup that he wanted.
Jonathan Villar pinch running at first base.
You want to make sure that you keep VR out of scoring position. You don't just want to let him steal a base here if in fact they are going to try to get him into scoring position.
So Matt Dominguez is up there 1 for 3. Strike 1.
Very high leg kick by Nathan. If VR is entertaining the thought of running, he could probably make it. That's what Tarek Brock, the first base coach, just relayed to him how slow Nathan was on that first pitch thrown to Dominguez.
And there he goes. Swing and a miss. Throw down to second. Not in time.
Can't happen.
Well, the tying run now is in scoring position, but the count is 0-2.
He was so slow with that first delivery, that first leg kick, that the first base coach simply walked over to him and said, you know what, you can steal this base.
Huge jump.
Avila had no chance.
Now the Astros a base hit away from perhaps tying it up, but Nathan is ahead 0-2. His 7th steal of the year for VR. (0-2) on Matt Dominguez. Avila able to stop it. 1-2. There's Marwin Gonzalez. He's the number 9 hitter, but he's had a big night with the bat. 2 hits and a walk. RBI. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nathan 1 strike away from putting this one in the win column. There goes the runner. Ball high, throw to third, nobody there. Ooh, the Tigers were fortunate there. Castellanos was 5 or 6 feet behind the bag, and Avila just threw a bullet to him.
Now that kind of changes things here a little bit. Now, Avila just a courtesy throw down there, threw it right to Castellanos, but that kind of changes the inning a little bit. And that also changes possibly the next pitch that Nathan will throw. And does he dare throw a breaking ball to Dominguez and bounce it and force Avila into blocking that ball with the runner on third base?
2-2 the count.
Looks like they're going fastball away.
Swing and a miss, struck him out. That's what I'm talking about, says Joe Nathan. And the Tigers have won the first 3 games in this series.
Stellar work by Porcello, Chamberlain, and also Joe.